Hello, 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 it's coffee time. Got a slurp because it annoys people. Remember that. I thought we'd do something we haven't done. I don't know, have we done this for a long time? I can't remember. I thought we'd do some viewer feedback. Oh, this ain't going to be good. For those of you who don't know, if you follow me on the Facebook, I think it's, for those of you who want to know, it's facebook.com/darren.k.lock. Go and follow me there. You can see some of these comments because every so often I might post a pithy comment because there are a lot of pithy people out there. In fact, you could say that they reek of pith. There's lots of comments of people, usually positive, but I post them to the Facebook because it amuses me. And I thought, what's the lowest effort content I can do on this very bleak? We've had about a week of really great. It's daytime. It's daytime. You wouldn't believe it, but we've had a run of really grey, bleak, dark winter mornings, and I can't be bothered. But then that's why you come here. He's given up. He's given up. So what I thought I'd do was the lowest effort content is read viewer comments. All right. Okay, we'll start off. This a lot of these go back a few years, right? In fact, this one's go back to March of last year. This is from a guy called Atlantean Lost, and he says, you are very much not a good reviewer, very dull, barely literate. I reply, I have a new fan. See, this is where we're going with this. Yeah, it's good. It's good here, isn't it? Oh yeah. I mean, they're not all bad. They're not all bad. He said. How about this one? And this is not a negative. This is not a negative review comment. This is somebody who's asking about a book that I reviewed, and they ask, "Hi Darren, how heavy is the book? I plan to purchase the book, but still a bit curious for the weight because it'll be delivered to overseas, and postage does matter. Appreciate the feedback. Thank you very much." I reply, "It's heavy." And the person comes back to me and says, "If you can tell me estimation of the weight, please, £10 or more." And I reply, "Really? Is this what I've been reduced to? Someone's online speak your weight machine?" And jog on. I mean, do you often sit there and think, that book, I wonder how much it weighs? Yeah. Now we're onto this shit. We're still last year. I'm very behind. There's not that many good comments though. This is a good one. This is from a guy called Ronald Borland. This was back last August. This is when I reviewed Stephen Wilson's album. So there's quite a few Stephen Wilson fans who really enjoy what I do, and he says, if I can get it on the screen, but it's too small. There you go. Ronald Borland says, "Oh Darren, give it a rest." This is on the overview. Now the overview album review, I put a lot of effort into that. I put a lot of effort into it just for people to have a laugh at it, because a lot of what I do is kind of performance art, but I think it's lost on a lot of people. He says, "Oh Darren, give it a rest. You're just a shadow of a lonely and bitter man. Looking forward to you blocking this comment as usual." Am I blocking it? No, son. I screenshotted it and we're having a laugh. Bye. Wavy hand. Donald. Oh, so sorry. I meant Darren. This is the troll. There's only enough room on the planet for one clown. So he's comparing me to Donald Trump. It's pretty cool, that. Oh, what's that? Oh, nice. eBay. And roles coming up by the US President. See you in another 5 years, Mr. Block. Enjoy being miserable. It suits you best. I'm not miserable. Why do people think I'm miserable? Is it because I didn't give the Stephen Wilson album a good review? Oh man, I wish I knew better. But yeah, and he come back again. He really does. He has another go. See, Ronald Borland returns, and he says, "You're a professional troll," and he got "you're" wrong as well. So, it's like, as you say, you only post garbage. Absolutely. Like this for the lols. Absolutely. Really childish. Not particularly. It's meant to be funny. Because look, how many earnest music reviewers do you see on the internet stroking their beards and making, like I say, very earnest proclamations about albums? I'm not that guy. I'm here to be ignored. It's not important. None of this is. That's the whole point of this. It's not important. This is merely entertainment. And if you do not find it entertaining, then there are many other people out there to entertain you. Some people will get my whatever you call this. They'll get my style, and for the clicks. Oh yeah. Oops. Oh no, I've knocked my headphones off. Oh yeah, I do this all for the clicks. Do you see how many views I get? You know, when you say something, a lot of people take you literally. When I say, "Oh, I'm doing this for the clicks," it's a joke, because I could make the greatest video of all time. I could make the greatest video. I could, if I wanted to. If I really sat down and thought about it, I could make the greatest video of all time. But I choose not to, because, as I've said before, YouTube is not a platform of discovery, and it hasn't been in a good 10 years. So, when I say I'm doing it for the clicks, I'm joking, because I will get a very limited amount of views. Other people get thousands, I'll get hundreds. That's because my content's crap. I accept it. Blah, blah, blah. Your words come back to bite you in the end, do they? Hey, Wally, you need a good shower and a shave and a change of clothes so that you're not described as a person who lives underneath a bridge. Wow. And I reply, and yet you feel the need to post comments like this because I gave an album you like a bad review. And this is what you're dealing with. This is it. I mean, again, look, I like wearing the same jumper. I've worn this jumper for about 26 years. It gets washed regularly, and I put it on again. But I like wearing the same things. It's like I don't change my clothes. What? Of course I do. I like to wear the same things. That's the problem. Just people. It makes you feel like you're back at school, doesn't it? Really, people bothering you and hassling you for what you're wearing. And he come back again. There's another one, and he says, you didn't review the album at all, just deriding it as usual. People like you have little talent and an inflated ego. I have little talent. Okay, it's not very nice, is it? Oh, come on, Ronald. Come on, Ronald. Look, Ronald, if you're watching, right? Because you said that I block you and that I'd delete this comment. I didn't. I made a fuss of you. I'm making a fuss of you now. And he says, I've got little talent. Look, I've done many things in my life. I've done many things. I've written for money. I've even photographed for money. I've done many things with my media career, which is kind of over now because the media's gone and there's not a lot left for me there. But I did many things when I used to work in the media, and I've written, I've owned a business, I've got 2 lovely children, owned many wonderful dogs. I think that's a talent in itself. You keep coming back. That's a talent, isn't it? And then there's all the music, the rock music I do. Now, I give you a guarantee that you will like at least one song in my plethora of music. But I'm not talentless. I've got talents. I've got skills. I've got mad skills. Inflated ego. You know, it's all part of the gag, you know. It's all part of the joke. Again, this is why, look, this is why certain people, the old faithful, come. Because they know who I am. And they enjoy my shtick. It's all part of the joke. Right? The puff it, when you puff it, it's that thing. It's meant to be funny. Again, a lot of people, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. They take it all very seriously. It's not meant to be taken seriously at all. Right? And will always talk trash instead of creative criticism. My criticism of Stephen Wilson's always been fairly, you know, it's not talking trash. There's very little to what he does. He operates on a very facile level. And again, there's going to be many, I imagine there's going to be quite a few Stephen Wilson fans in this video. And I don't care about Stephen Wilson. If Stephen Wilson is successful, good for him. I have no personal animosity to him. I think it's great that he's doing what he's doing and he's living the dream. Good on you, Steve. Love it, right? I think he's got some good ears on him. I remember when he produced some stuff for, well, he worked with Fish, didn't he? On was it Sunsets of Empire? And he did some stuff for Marillion, and it was around that time. It was around, was it mid to late 90s? And Porcupine Tree was starting to bubble a little bit, you know. And I thought his production work was really cool. I thought it was kind of interesting, you know. So I've never had an issue with that. But it's his music. People really laud him as a musician, and you know, the great creative musician. I mean, he isn't. And again, the one album I did like, The Incident, nobody else likes. And I thought that was his one. I think that's his best work, and his first actual solo album I thought was all right in places. But then he became obsessed with this, you know, this, well, or maybe the prog fan, the prog oeuvre, became obsessed with him. And I don't think he's really that. He's kind of been held down by it. However, he is an example of last man standing. We live in such culturally wishy-washy times. And just look at the charts. Just look at the charts. Just look at. I'm going to go Rick Beato now on you. Just look at the charts, and you will see that there are no great songwriters anymore. It's all, you know, but it's all production. It's all production trickery now. I sound like the old man. I'm like that old man. This rock and roll, it will never catch on. But Stephen Wilson isn't comparable to anyone, you know, pre 2005, I guess, maybe 2000s. He couldn't compete in the 90s. You know, I saw No Man Come and Go. You know, people said, "Oh, it's a great record. I got it." I was nonplussed by it. No, I didn't get it. Again, the Porcupine Tree albums, when they came out, I saw them as like very feeble Pink Floyd rip-off. And I thought, okay, I guess why some people might like it, but it's not for me. I didn't think it was particularly good. I didn't think he was saying anything. He doesn't speak to me. But if he speaks to you, good. But you've got to recognise that he's pretty low-level tier in what he does. You know, he'll never be a Genesis or a Queen or a Yes or a Pink Floyd. He'll never be that, because he is at the very, and he knows that himself. If you read his biography, it's you know, it's quite interesting. Even he marvels or wonders how he's got this far, because he is the last man standing, right? And good for him. Good for him. Good for him, right? I think it's great that he keeps the music alive, but I don't get it. All right? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I don't like being that guy that doesn't get it. It makes me feel like I'm missing out on something. You know, because usually I can usually see the good in these things. For certain kinds. In this case, it's Rush and Stephen Wilson. That's a bad viewpoint to start from. Even with Rush, right? I like 2112 or 2112 or 211-2. I like that album. I like Grace Under Pressure. Yeah. And I like some of those bits, those other ones that Rupert Hine produced, Roll the Bones. You know, I like bits of what they do, and I think they're a very good live band. Their albums don't do it for me. Some of the production albums makes my ears hurt. But 99% of my reviews are usually positive. There's usually 1% that are not. And these people, they're attracted to that like flies around the proverbial brown stuff. And many other artists as well. I'm not impotent or dumb either, Wally. Wow, did I call him that? I don't remember calling him that. Remember one thing. It's what you do and not what you say. What have I done? I haven't done anything. Right? It's your incessant bleating and moaning about Stephen Wilson and his fans that annoys me. Well, I'm sorry. Don't watch the Stephen Wilson reviews. You know what you're going to get. And there are tracks of people that come here purely for those reviews. They don't watch anything else. They go, Darren's doing a Stephen Wilson review. This should be fun. You know, it's like Red Letter Media doing a Star Wars review, you know. If you follow those guys, love them. And others who see your reviews and turn the page. Yeah, that's fine. Just childish name calling. You're calling me Wally. What? You're doing the same, son. You've got to hold yourself in the same account. If you're gonna say, oh, you can't call people's names, don't come here calling me names, because I'm just gonna call you names. That's the level of discourse. And shallow comments with little regard for facts or information about the actual music. Facts and information. What are the facts and information about Stephen Wilson? The facts are, he isn't played on any commercial radio station. In fact, he's unknown on commercial radio. The only reason he charts is because he sells of so few copies, literally 5,000 copies or less. In the oldie days, this is why they never charted. But this is where we're at. Those are the facts of the matter. All right? A lot of music criticism, it's all subjective. It's criticism. You know, it's not. You can't be objective. If you're objective about an album, you'll come on and say it is the 12th album by so and so. It is 45 minutes long. You can get it on CD or LP, and it's out on May the 12th. That's an objective review. It's not a subjective review. You know. And this is what I don't understand. Why people? What do people want? Do they just want positive reviews all the time? If I did that, they'd say, "Oh, you're always so positive about everything. You stink." I couldn't win. I would never be able to win. In other words, I find the clog review, see, calling me names, what? To be of little value of consequence. It isn't. It's of no value of consequence. I know that. You tell me that it isn't. I know. It's just a bit of fun. Jeez. It's just a bit of fun. Boring and bland, like a bowl of burnt porridge. Burnt porridge ain't bland. You remember it. And I replied politely, like I said, you don't like me or what I do, so move on. Find someone more to your taste. See, I'm very reasonable. I'm lovely, I am. I'm lovely. I'm lovely and reasonable, except for when I'm not, you know. Except for when I'm not reasonable. Oh, yeah. But, you know, it's what happens. It's, you know, it's what happens, isn't it? People, you've got to be careful. People out there, they'd be crazy. They'd be crazy. And then Ronald comes back again. He says, this is a good one. He says, I don't say I didn't like you, Darren. Again, you try to put words in my mouth. You're the one having a go at me. I assume you didn't like me. It's the way you operate with your snide comments and toilet humour. What? And of course, there's always the sigh and moan about living in the past with a certain Mr. Floyd. Very droll and also boring, as the Pink One would say, and do on most of their discography. Remember, Darren, it's the smiles that you leave behind that are the measure of the man, not the acerbic aftertaste. Enjoy your life and all the best for your future endeavours. Bye. This is the longest goodbye ever. And I reply, okay, you keep changing the parameters. Correction, you tolerate me, but you don't know what I do. Okay, well, I'm not sure I can accommodate your sensitivities without staying true to my own sense of humour. I set you free, Mr. Borland. Fly, you poor little butterfly. So this is what I have to deal with sometimes. You know, people can be very upset. They can be very, very upset about about all manner of stuff. Just finding the next one. Let me get the next one queued up. It keeps resetting the bloody. I'm going back again. I don't want to go. I want to go up. This is from my music site, because I do music as well. Unfortunately, I'm ever so sorry. I get a lot of insults over that. I don't post too many of those because it's usually, oh, your guitar's out of tune. I had one the other day. This guy goes, oh, it's out of tune, and he actually had some music that he'd recorded, and I can understand why he thought my guitar was out of tune, because he was operating on a whole new level of frequency. But you know, that's how it goes. But this is from Mad Mio, and he says, such a pity you can't play, mate. Never mind, keep practicing, and you'll get there one day. We've all been there at one time. Again, the great thing about guitar, right, is you never finish with it. You've never finished. It's a continual journey of discovery. You never truly master the guitar. You just keep plugging away at it. Oh, now Facebook is completely crapped out on me. Oh, good one, Facebook. You got to love this social media stuff. Let's go back to the photos again. We get back. It's like to refresh the page, and that's kind of refreshed everything. Oh no. Where are we? Got to go back in time. So I've done that one. What's that one? Is that one any good? Nope. Here we go. This is a good one. This is again more about my music. This is from Paul Swanton, or Paul's Wanton, and he's having a go at my ambient music, right? And he says it's called David Gilmour, dull and boring. And I replied, but I'm deliberately being dull and boring here. There is a difference, big boy, because ambient music is dull and boring, isn't it? It is dull and boring, isn't it? It is dull and boring. Right now, and this is from Chris Knowlton. I've done some of these before. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but going from ambient to more ambient. Chris Knowlton took issue with my review of Apollo by Brian Eno, Daniel Lanois. He says Apollo is a masterpiece. I agree. It is a milestone in the ambient genre. I agree. But why are you reviewing it as a prog album, which it isn't? Because it's the name of the strand, when you're clearly not into ambient. The drony ambient bits are boring to you, and you're embarrassed or apologetic for even discussing it, acting like most of your viewers of your video won't be interested in it. You've done this on other videos too. Eno was never prog. Au contraire. He was in new wave avant-garde Roxy music. What is avant-garde? New wave avant-garde if it isn't prog. Did a few solo rock things. Have you listened to his solo rock things? Bit prog. Then did an instrumental ambient. Bit prog. He was not in King Crimson or Genesis or Yes. Clarification. He is credited on Genesis's The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway for inossification. So reviewing Apollo here and saying you only like the guitar bass tracks, I do. I like the pedal steel guitar of Daniel Lanois. What's wrong with that? And not the synthy ambient ones, which it is all about. Half of it is crazy. Seems that all your other Eno reviews are like this too. If you don't like ambient, why review it? Where'd you go with that? Seriously, where'd you go with that? Meanwhile, Sydney Nikulad. Oh, I found this guy's actual. I actually clicked on the guy's profile and went down a right rabbit hole of him, this guy being a complete porn sick freak. Not good. Let's just say I found his alter ego. But anyway, Sydney wasn't happy with me. He says, Darren, I used to watch your YouTube channel years ago. This is actually a comment on Facebook. But I had to stop when you kept saying a lot of bigoted things against women. When have I said anything bigoted against women? Trans people. I've never been anti-trans other than leave kids out of it and keep men out of women's sports and their private places. But other than that, if you're an adult and you want to do whatever you want to do, get on with it. Whop out your elbow. Gay people? Nope, never been anti-gay. And immigrants? Not anti-immigrant, just wonder what's going on with the channel. What's that all about? There should be legal methods of people coming over here, and it should be highly regulated. I think we can all agree with that. It was a shame because you used to claim to be a socialist. Well, I used to be left-wing until it all went a bit weird, and now I'm in the middle. But watching your videos over time, and it was possible to see the change in you happen. I ain't changed. I'm exactly the same as I've always been. It's you who've changed because I checked out your profile, and it ain't good, son. It ain't good. It ain't good. Ain't good. Not good at all. Have we got any more? Any more for any more? Oh, this is from the troll. Because the troll likes to say this. We'll give the troll some pub. Oh, it's that bit where Facebook doesn't want to respond. Come on, Mr. Facebook, you can do it. The troll, he posted the same comment twice on my music channel from 2 different accounts on the same video. And it says live from a cupboard in his wife's house. And he posted it twice from the same 2 different things. And that's the cover of Gatsby. That's the cover of Gatsby there. Blocked them. One, it's in a cupboard. It's a corner of a room. So that's a corner. Wife's house. Nope. No, that's not wife's house. Check the deeds, eh? Check whose name's on the deeds, son. Oh, so many things wrong with that statement. Everything about that statement was wrong. Everything except for it being live, because it was a live recording. I think he was commenting on. But other than that, completely wrong. Completely wrong. Meanwhile, Roger from the Netherlands, because it ends with NL. He was commenting on Pink Floyd Immersion box set unboxing. He didn't like my comments. He says, "Why I don't get you think it's all crap what they bring out, but you buy the stuff. Why buy the stuff then? Nice for people. Also, how can't buy the stuff because they don't have money and see you buy it and you think it's all crap, man. You are a muppet." And breathe. A lot to unpack there, but I do leave a comment. I'll just read my comment. I said, back when this video was originally made 13 years ago, YouTube was paying out decently, so I'd buy these box sets and show them so that others could see what they were all about. Then I'd sell them on. I saw it as a public service and something to make videos about. Nowadays, everyone can recommend companies do these videos. Read more, forgot to include the rest of it. Do these videos, so now I'm irrelevant. Let's see. Just speaking the truth. But you know what I'm like? I'm a little bit of a, what's the word? Bit funny. I'm a bit funny. I try and make fun of these box sets because, again, what I want you to do is not waste your money on them. You know, a lot of this stuff is. It's nice if you can afford these things, but a lot of these things you don't need. A lot of these things now are streamed. You can go and listen to them on like YouTube Music for free, and you don't need to actually buy all this stuff. You know, you don't need to be slave to it. And if you've got the money, you can spend it and you enjoy it. Good for you. But if you are, I don't know, a teenager and you're broke, you're not missing out. That's what I want to try and get over on this. You're not missing out, you know. But it's hard to get that across sometimes, yeah. There are very few worthwhile releases these days that fit very good categories. 1, reasonably priced. 2, lots of new content. And 3, desirable package. And that's all got to converge into one thing. And those releases are very few and far between. I'm always gonna mention the Jethro Tull reissues because I'm not a greatest fan of the band, but it's good to pick them up because you get a lot to listen to, a lot to read. You know, Stephen Wilson's there. You'll love the Stephen Wilson. You get that too. You know, so they're always worthwhile. But even those prices, even the prices of the Jethro Tull sets are creeping up. You know. But anyway, we move from that to something a bit more new, a bit newer. This is my instrumental mix of "Been Undone" by Peter Gabriel. That's his new single. This is a fella. He didn't like it. He said nice copyright infringement, but that fits perfectly with this degenerate clown. I mean, in what way am I degenerate? I don't understand. I don't drink drugs. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. I've been with my missus for, I don't know, I can't even count how long it's been, since '88. So I did address this before. No copyright infringement has been made. Anything I post here, if I do any remixes, they're invariably claimed by the artiste, Peter Gabriel in this case. Any playbacks, any adverts go straight into his pocket. I get nothing. I'm working for free. So if I post any of those things, enjoy them, because, you know, it's all fun. It's all a bit of fun. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'll apologise to you. That's all I can do. Is if you don't like what I do, all I can do is apologise to you and ask you to move on. And again, this guy he left another comment, the same guy. And this way he ups his game. He says, get a life, because I probably explained to him that, you know, Gabriel gets the money. So he says, get a life or get a rope. That's not nice, is it? He's wishing violence upon me for uploading a remix that somebody asked for. They asked me, Darren, could you do an instrumental mix? And I thought, do you know what, I will. And they thanked me for it. But this guy, he wants me to hang myself. Am I allowed to say that in a YouTube video? Probably not. But anyway, always this damn ugly retards on YouTube. And he uses the R slur as well. I can only apologise. So that's the mentality of these people. They're not very nice. You know, not very nice. And we've got a new one. This was posted today. I think, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. It might have been today. This is Floyd Doc, and he don't like me either. He says, congratulations to Darren for somehow managing to make his videos less and less watchable with every upload. He's talking about last Tuesday's, or the Tuesday just gone, live stream. After watching as much of his latest coma-inducing bile as I can, stomach, I'm going to go and listen to Roger Waters' solo album to cheer myself up, and then maybe watch one of his interviews in order to listen to someone who occasionally seems to view a decent opinion. I'll see myself out. Wow. I replied, seems I've upset another Roger Waters fan. This is a good result. Because that Tuesday night thing is, it's just a load of talk, isn't it? It's just we sit and we chat around, and everyone has a bit of a chat. You know, it's what goes on. Everyone likes a good old chinwag on a Tuesday night. Sorry you don't like it. It is boring. Even I tell you it's boring. Come on. But you know, we're just having a little chit chat. And this one I haven't posted yet. This is from Gary Pye. Gary Pye. This is live. This was from yesterday. There it is. And it's a big thread. I'm going to read it because it's boring looking at it on the screen like that. This is unbelievable. He's talking about the Stephen Wilson book review from nearly 4 years ago now. Unbelievable. The envy and obsession you have over this guy. If only you could realise the admiration and jealousy you have for someone you just can't fathom out. It's so clear to me. Mr. Wilson is far beyond your comprehension with his talents musically and in mind. I reply, no envy at all. There isn't. I don't feel envy. I haven't felt envy since I was, I don't know, 11, 12. You know, if you do better than me, I wish you luck, because that's the way it's gone. I'm not an envious person. I never have been. I'm not interested in the material world. But you wouldn't understand that because you don't know me. The people closest to me know who I am, and they know that, you know, I ain't normal. So I said, no envy at all. Why is envy always the accusation? I'm physically incapable of feeling envy. I left those feelings behind when I was a kid. I wish Wilson every success. I just don't understand why he has any fans when his music and message is so insipid and facile, and I stand by that. You know, these aren't great works. He's not doing Dark Side of the Moon Part 2. No one is. Because a lot of these great albums, all these classic albums we've seen, they occupy a particular space in time and in the cultural landscape. No modern music operates that at that level anymore, because we live in a post-cultural world where nothing, no movie, no book, no TV show, nothing will have the cultural impact of, like I say, Dark Side of the Moon or a Harry Potter. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. Am I transphobic for saying that? You know, those days have gone because the cultural landscape has thinned and gone more narrow thanks to the likes of social media and YouTube and whatever else is out there. And so, you know, it's just not that culturally important anymore. And I'm sorry I don't get it. I wish I could. I can only be honest, and that's my problem. And I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry that I've upset you. I'm sorry for being honest. If you don't like honesty, don't come here. All right? I try and make it funny, so at least you can laugh at me. I don't mind you laughing at me. All right? I don't mind you being, oh, look at the funny man. He hates Stephen Wilson. That's fine, right? I don't hate Stephen Wilson. I think it's of no consequence to me. If he fell under the wheels of a bus, I feel really bad about it, you know, because as a human being, I think he's okay. I just don't get the adulation. It's like if someone was a big fan of me, Gary, you'd go, why the hell are you a fan of that idiot? Do you get it? It cuts all ways, you know, and I appreciate that. And Gary adds, coming from someone that likes Genesis after Gabriel left the band shows you haven't got much taste in quality music with their middle of the road pop. But there you go, each to their own. Where'd you start with that? Do you know that I really like Gabriel era Genesis more than you ever realised? And yeah, I do like the Collins era too. I like all the stuff. I even like bits of when Ray Wilson was with the band, because I'm a Genesis fan. They're your team. You support them. Even when there's a new striker, even when the management changes, they're your team, right? But you don't see it like that. I can only like Gabriel era Genesis because that shows you that I've got good taste. I say, oh, you're a musical snob. Got it. I like the earlier period more as I'm a massive PG fan. But you go and toddle off and sulk in the corner like a good SW soy boy. Because he annoyed me with that comment. I was annoyed. I came out flailing there. Come on, don't be stupid. People are stupid. So yeah, have we got any other good ones in the actual? I don't think I've got any good ones at the moment. Because again, some of these comments, when they do post them, they do get again, I get accused of deleting comments. Yeah, I do. Sometimes I get deleted by the YouTube gods. So even my own comments, when I leave them, they disappear. They end up in the spam folder, you know. So you know, it's it. But a lot of the really pithy ones I'll leave up, and I'll pin them to the actual review and whatnot, because you know my back is broad. But you know, certain stuff I won't take. You know, when you accuse me of things that I'm not, I can't be doing with any of that. But anyway, hopefully you've had a little titter at the stupidity of the internet, because there's a lot of it out there. There's an awful lot of it out there. So let's see if there's anybody in the chat. Brendan's in. He says, why does Wilson command such adoration? Marillion similar. One negative comment and they unleash verbal Armageddon. Well, look, I used to be a Marillion fan, but they've got more and more insipid as the years have gone on. And I just can't. You know, the last one they did was Marbles that I really enjoyed, and after that they just seem to be creatively blown out. You know, I can't remember any of the songs since Marbles because they've just kind of hit that. You know, but hey, whoa there, Nelly. But Marillion are peculiar because they'll do quite a run of insipid albums, and then they'll do quite a good one. They had that one. It was like they did Afraid of Sunlight, which I really liked, and then they had a run of really dull albums, which the odd good song on, and then we hit Marbles. But there was a run of real dull albums. But Marillion fans are, you know, they're not as rabid as Wilson fans, and they're not as rabid as the Cardiacs fans. Ozzy's in this. This is great fun. How can anyone be for illegal immigration? Oh yeah, but those people don't believe that you can be an illegal immigrant. They believe that everyone has a right to go wherever they want. Tell them that when they want to go on holiday somewhere and they leave their passport at home. Look, I come from the East End of London. I went to a school which had very multicultural background. I've had many friends of many different hues and religions and whatever, right? And this is what bugs me. When I had again, this is a true story. When I had my shop, I had a guy come in, and he was trying to. He was a sales rep, and he heard where I come from. And you make small talk. Oh, where are you from? And I tell him, and this, that, and the other. And he starts saying, well, he starts talking in very racial terms to me, and I'm looking at him because I'm from the East End, and he thinks I'm a racist. And I let him do his spiel, and I just say, no, I won't buy anything today. I just let him do, because I was never going to buy anything from him, because there's a lot of this kind of, I don't know, kind of hidden racism. They hear where you come from, and they think you're that way. It was never that way. And again, my grandparents were socialist union people. My nan worked at the school that I went to, the junior school that I went to, infants junior school, and she was proud that she said that, oh, we had, was it 48 different languages spoken there, and she was really proud of it, because again, she came from Hackney, and she saw, well, again, she worked with at that time there was a lot of Jewish people living there, and she worked for those people and saw different immigrants coming in. And we, from her lineage, were of Huguenot stock from the French. We fled from persecution from there. You see, and it really bugs me when people level fingers at you and say you're this and you're that. It's just a way of shutting down the conversation. It's just a way of shutting down. Now again, because we have this shutdown, I now live in like fascist Germany here, because every lamppost has a Union flag. Now I didn't mind in the summer. When there was one or two, and it brightened them up. And then they overstepped the mark, because these clowns started putting up, which one was it? Diamond Jubilee flags from 2012. They couldn't even get the later ones. I'm thinking, those flags are 12 years old. And then they could get bigger ones, and then it started to upset the dog. We go for a walk of a night, and if it's really windy, they cast a shadow on the pavement, and Layla gets a little bit spooked. She's getting more used to it now, but they don't have to make a racket when it's blowy, when it's windy of a night. So I've had enough, and that's where we're at. I was like kind of for it, and now I'm just like, oh, come on, let's get rid of these flags. You go up to Harlow, you really do feel like you're in Nazi Germany, because every lamppost there's a Union flag on it. Bloody hell. But this is the times we live in. Mental on one side, mental on the other. Everyone's mental, and it's this place that's caused it. Watch that video, that clip that I posted the other day. The internet has sent everybody mad. No one could be reasonable anymore. Everyone's got to point a finger. You're this, you're that, you're the other, without actually listening to what they're saying, without actually having the conversation, having the sense to be able to say, oh yeah, but this, or yeah, but that. We can't do that. We've either got to blindly accept the orthodoxy, or you're a heretic. And those are the times we live in. And the people that, it's just a fucking nightmare. Payne's in, he says, I've got a box set. No, wait a minute, I've got a set of boxes. Not the same thing. Yeah, but what if you put the boxes inside the other boxes? Have you got a set of boxes then? Boxception. Brendan says, you gave Waters' last album a proper great review. I did. I thought, Is This the Life You Really Want? I thought it was a really good album. And it pained me to sell it, because I really like that record. Because he actually for once realised that if you, instead of being very specific about events, instead of being very specific and naming people, he learned to write in with a more general, with a wider brush, right? And that way, the album's going to age better. Going on about Thatch in the 80s, I find the final cut a hard thing to listen to, because that was 40 years ago, and it just could be 50 years soon, won't it? The years will roll around. And it's the same with Amused to Death. It was funny because it kind of come round again, because you had that was around the Gulf War time, and then I remember listening to it. When was it? Must have been about when we was doing the second Gulf War. We went over to take on Saddam again with the weapons of mass destruction. That kind of fell back into line again. But again, if you write in very general, politically in general brushstrokes, I think the albums age a bit better. I mean, that's why Dark Side of the Moon works so well. I always had a problem with the line about Mary Whitehouse on animals, on pigs. One, because I think it was incredibly misogynistic, and again, it's only only after when you get old, you go, maybe Whitehouse had a point. Because when I was a kid, Mary Whitehouse tried to get Doctor Who banned, right? Because it was too violent. Now, we're talking about the Deadly Assassin episode. Now, I didn't sleep for a week after the one where he got the episode where the cliffhanger where he got his foot trapped in the railway track. I couldn't sleep for a week. But as a kid, I was like, how dare she take my Doctor Who away from me? But now as an adult, I'm thinking, I didn't sleep for a week because of Doctor Who. Maybe she had a point. And I think society needs people like Mary Whitehouse. It needs people to go who needs to question all sides. You need someone to go, hey guys, maybe we should think about this. You always need people like that. And she was a very clever woman. Again, if you watch some of her interviews, she was very, very smart, a very funny woman. And I think there was a lot of misogyny aimed at her back in the day, even by me as a kid, because she wanted to take my Doctor Who off me. So I think sometimes it's good to have a cool head and to question everything. But Waters he's a funny one. He's the great. He's full of empathy, but only to the people that he likes a lot. That new Piers Morgan interview is all you need to know of what a massive hypocrite he is about certain events. Certain events he'll say, "Oh, that's for the people to decide," and then with things like Gaza and Israel, he sticks his oar in. So you can't be one or the other. You got to be all in or all out. It's that's the way it goes. King says, "Honey, I tell you, you have a cute, healthy, big head. It's dope indeed. It's big and full of brain." You know that. So we'll block them for the mention of my big head, because that's not nice. What else have we got? Bond says, it's the time of year when my socialist mates hang on every word being uttered by billionaires at Davos. Indeed. It's peculiar how in the old days the socialists were the ones who were saying, "Hey, we need to just do, get rid of this and get rid of that," and now they're the uncool kids, man. But here we are. It's a funny thing. I mean, I was of the left back in the day, but I've been pushed further into the middle. I mean, I don't know if I'm not necessarily right wing. Am I right wing? I don't think so. I'm a live and let live kind of guy. I think everyone's. I think the problem with the world is you do need people that are willing to make tough decisions and to say horrible things. And that's the thing with Trump. Trump's absolutely mental. Trump's mental. Trump's just flailing around. He's like, I find it amusing. I find it amusing that the most powerful person in the world is Donald Trump. And that's the failure of the American political system. You had a choice between Trump and Biden. Is that the best you could do? Well, then you deserve Trump. So that's the way it goes. And it's the same with a lot of politics. As politics has failed, because you do need people with conviction, and you need to know who and why you're voting for that person. And we only got Starmer because the Tories were just doing what Tories do for the last was it 15 years or whatever it was. and we only got Labour because there was nothing else to vote for. You get the politics you deserve, So it's, I don't know. It's weird times. Everything's strange. We're going through a real weird time of it. It's a bit like being back in the 1920s. We're doing the 2020s. I do believe there's a lot of the whole post-millennial tension that there's always a hysteria around the millennials. Look it up. Lots of historical hysteria, and I think we're kind of coming out of that, and that's why a lot of this stuff is happening. Again, you've got to ask yourself, what is politics for? Why do we have politics? What are politicians for? And if they don't fulfill their role, then why do we have them? A politician's role was to make the common man's life better, whether they're left or right. That's all politics was. Otherwise, why give us the right to vote? Why give us the right to put these people into power? Before that, we had kings and queens. We had lords of the manor, and those people made the decisions. In a lot of times, they made bad decisions. Sometimes they were benevolent and looked after their subjects. But if the politicians can't look after our interests and the interests of the country, then why do we have them? And that's what you've got to ask yourself. Why are they here, and what is their role? And no one asks that. They just think it's just like, oh, Gaza. Why are we talking about that? Yeah, it's terrible. War's terrible, but why are we talking about that? There are issues here that need to be dealt with. And the media perpetuate this cycle, this wash cycle of look over there, look over there, look over there. That's why Gaza and Trump's in the forefront of all this stuff. Look over there, look over there. Don't look at that. Look at this. Oh, how the news has changed. Just go on YouTube and look at one of the old news shows from the 70s or 80s, and you'll see how the news has changed. It's not news anymore, and it's all done to distract, and it's all done to annoy. It's done to get you not thinking straight. Because if you don't think straight, you won't realise what they're doing to you. Anyway, I have blathered on far too long. This was only meant to be a short one, and I've spoken far too long. I'm ever so sorry, everyone. And if you don't like me, if you don't like my face, if you don't like what I say, if you don't like my reviews, if you want me to hang on the end of a rope, I'm sorry. I can only be me. And if you don't like me, like I say, there are many other people to watch on YouTube. I'm just here to have a good time all the time. And that's what you should aim for, all right? And you should aim for that. I don't really care. I don't care. When you think of things cosmically, you learn not to care, right? Think cosmically, and you realise again, your taste in music is like your taste in sex. It's your own business, nothing to do with me, all right? I do not care. The reviews are there to either point you in the direction of an album, have you considered this, or the Stephen Wilson ones are for the old faithful who like me bashing him, all right? I yearn. I need him to make an album I like. I want to be proved wrong. It's really important to me to be proved wrong. You don't understand it. And the whole jealousy thing, I just don't get, because I've never wanted a record deal. I've never wanted a tour. I've never wanted to be in a band. I've never wanted to play the Royal Albert Hall. All I want is for people to be able to hear my music on the internet. And it's becoming harder and harder for that to happen because of whatever. Because of the way things are now. And that's all I want, is to say, oh, here's some music. Maybe you enjoy it. If people pay me, bonus. It costs me nothing to make the music, just my time, right? Because I don't have to go to a studio. I can sit here. There's no investment in time other than, I'll buy a guitar, but I enjoy the guitars or whatever, So when people say I'm jealous of someone, I'm not. I wouldn't want to be Stephen Wilson. I'd want to be in Queen or the Beatles. You know what I'm saying? That's where you want to aspire to be. You don't aspire to be Stephen Wilson. I aspire to be the Beatles, or Elvis fucking Presley, But even he's being forgotten. But there's that new film coming out by Baz Luhrmann. oh, they found some extra footage. And Baz Luhrmann, when Baz Luhrmann was doing the biography of Elvis, he found some live footage, and they're repurposing it and redigitizing it. It's coming out just before my birthday, so yeah, that should be good. I actually watched the trailer to it, and all the hairs on the back of my head, yeah, I have got some, stood up. I went all because it looked amazing. The trailer looked ooh. But anyway, I've gone on. Anyway, I'm off now. Thank you for watching. There's only one more thing to say, and I've already said it. Have a good time all the time. Ta-ta.